Welcome to the Metals Investment Forum. We are first time in person in Vancouver. It's my honor here to have Genius Metals VP of Corporate Development, Oliver Pierre-Goulet. Welcome, Oliver.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chen. Very good to be with you here live in person. It's our first time here at Metals Investor. As people are going to learn now, we're a young company, so very excited to come here to share our story and share the word out on this new exciting company, exciting project.
Yes, exactly. So your new project was Sakami, right? Can you tell me about that Sakami project and then what's in that area?
Yeah, so basically our main gold exploration asset is located in northern Quebec, in James Bay. So what happens now in James Bay? James Bay is a bit further up north than Abitibi. Abitibi is a well-known gold district where you would find most of the gold mines in Quebec at the moment. So discoveries are getting tougher and tougher to be made in Abitibi. And in an environment where gold was around $500 an ounce 20 years ago, it didn't make much sense to move further up north to go explore. But now, as I mentioned, discoveries are getting tougher and tougher to come by in Abitibi. And so now you're going to see more and more discovery in James Bay in an environment where gold is hovering around $2,000 an ounce. It also makes much more sense to have a higher exploration cost to go further up north. And we've seen a lot of good discoveries coming from James Bay in recent years. I think the most notable one is the Eleanor gold mine operated by Newmont. This really spurred a good exploration effort in the area. And we've seen other very good successful stories. We've heard recently of Azimuth, ticker AZM, which had quite a nice discovery at Elmer. We have just below us, right, our south of us, our neighbors are Quebec Precious Metals. So they're expecting to publish a resource calculation at some point this year. And so, just very exciting. I think more and more discoveries you're going to see in Quebec are going to come from that James Bay region there.
Excellent. And I heard of Cisco Metal also is another neighbor of yours.
Oh, it's a Cisco development. So we're squeezed in between on the contact. So we're squeezed between Quebec Precious Metals and a Cisco development, which has a property called La Grande Sud, which hosts 300,000 ounces of gold. And so I think all along that contact, we hold over 40 kilometers on that contact, which is almost virgin ground. It was left mostly unexplored. The claims that were owned there mostly privately for the last, I would say most of the last 20 years. So very hard to raise the big money to go explore there. And it's really Genius Metals took over the exhaustive exploration effort in the last 2 years, I would say.
All right, excellent. So how do we evaluate your recent drilling program?
Yeah, so we have just drilled for the first time. We've completed 17 holes. Those are mostly shallow holes, 100 to 150 meters, spaced 200 meters apart. And keep in mind, this was the first drill program in a property that is more than 300 square kilometer. So we're quite confident that we've intercepted a very nice gold-bearing structure at our GoldenEye prospect. Unfortunately, we've just started intercepting that structure on the last 2-3 holes. So there's still going to be a work of interpretation, and we'll still the idea will be to keep working on that because we've intercepted the gold intervals that are somehow narrow, but you know how those systems sometimes work, the pinch and swell. So we're confident, we're hopeful that we'll get much better grades and we'll get much wider intervals out of this prospect.
Great. So what are the next steps? What do you plan to do from here?
Yeah, so currently we are well financed. We have around $2 million in the bank, and we have also a lot of government receivables from tax credit. We have good tax incentives for exploring up north. And so the company is well funded. As I mentioned, we work year round. So we love to do the line cutting and the geophysics during the winter. Ground is frozen. It's easier to cover more ground. And so, as I mentioned, we've intercepted that gold-bearing structure. Obviously, we want to define the scope of that structure with an IP survey. So we'll be extending that as soon as we can, probably in January, February. We'll extend the scope of that structure. And also we've added recently, if you've been following the news, we've added around 189 claims in a different type of geology. So they're still prospecting results, assays to come out of this area. But this idea would be to fly. We have a contract in November to fly a mag survey over that portion, that new portion of claim. And hopefully, as I mentioned, we're well funded, so we're very excited to get drilling again as soon as we can next spring.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Can you talk a little bit about your share structure and why you're the insider, your company executive keep buying the share from the open market, and why investors should pay attention to Genius Metal?
Yeah, sure. It's as I mentioned, it's a relatively new company. It's a new story. The share count is currently at 47 million, out of which I would say I think more than half, around half, is held between 10, 15 close hands. We've had the successful management that had the successful ventures in the past. So a very tight group of friends and family who hold the bulk of the shares. So yeah, I would say the capital structure relatively tight at the moment. And yeah, it's exciting. I mean, it's a new play, a new story. We have just started to aggressively explore that property, that large virgin ground. We have plenty of money to keep exploring, and yeah, everything to get excited about. Drilling to come, more we're generating target along the way, and yeah, but plenty of things to be excited about for the next year or two.
Okay, great. Thank you, Pierre.
Thank you very much.
Good luck
Chen.
with your drilling campaign.
Thank you for having us, Chen. A pleasant experience here in Vancouver.